Hello designers and welcome back. So as you all know that I am a logo designer and I have been designing logos for million-dollar companies from past 4 years. And today I'll be showing you 10 logo design tips which will tremendously help you if you are a logo designer or if you want to become one. So let's jump right into it. Tip number 1. Start with black and white. Color is easily the most fun part about designing. Yes, I know it is a very delightful step, but a lot of times people have their opinions and biases without any formal education about color. That is one of the reasons when I work on logo sketches, I don't even think about the colors at all. In fact, I only start using the colors after I have at least 3 good concepts ready. Starting with black and white will save you. It pretty much blocks you from creating something fussy, overcomplicated, or so dependent on texture that it will just look like a blob when you shrunk it down to a business card. It basically makes you simplify your shapes, which is a very good thing. And if it works in black and white, it will work with any color anywhere. Next is logo is just a face of the company. I see many young designers text me on Instagram and send me their logo designs on email saying that their clients are not liking their logos, they're not able to charge a higher price for their logos like I do. Well, the problem is not because you're getting bad clients. Problem is that a lot of logo designers think a logo should say a lot of things. A logo should say what a company does, it should say what they sell. No. I mean, just look at Apple's logo. They are not selling apples, and hopefully won't in the future. My point being, a logo is just a face of the company and not the whole company itself. When a client tells you to create a logo design for a real estate firm, don't just jump right into the concept of building a house or a building. Think beyond that. Understand their background, listen to their story, and work on how you can make their logo as unique and memorable as possible. For our third one, we have kerning. I think by now we all know what kerning is, and for those who don't know, it's basically setting the spacing between individual letters and characters. And when talking about logo types should be always kerned tighter than they are wide. That's because the kerning values that we have as default on Adobe Illustrator is set for paragraph text and not for specific logo types. So when you type out a word and you want to use that exact font for a logo type, before finalizing it, kern it tighter individually. You can simply do this by still keeping the text editable by pressing Alt or Option on your keyboard and moving the arrow keys left or right. Tip number 4. Do not open Pinterest or Google. I know how tempting it is to just open Pinterest or Google and type out the logo design you're working on to get a bunch of ideas and creative juices flowing so that you can impress your clients with your designs as quickly as possible. Well, it might even work in the short time. Your client will get impressed and even finalize the logo. But what if later they come to you asking for a full refund on the project as the logo which you worked on so hard was a replica of something they found out later on Pinterest? Trust me, this exact thing has happened with me before. Yes, I am speaking from experience. So my personal advice would be to not to look at any online source of inspiration after at least creating 20 concepts on your notebook. And even if you do look at some inspiration online, don't just blindly copy the idea. Take the concepts from 3 to 5 different logos and combine it to make it yours. At number 5, I have something I tell every single designer I meet. Sketch at least 20 concepts. Yes, you have probably heard me say this before, and the reason why I keep saying this is because I know there are still designers out there that just stop at the first 5 sketches they ideate. They do not understand the magic in challenging your brain to think more and to force yourself to complete the minimum 20 sketch rule. Almost always my initial sketches are either too cliche or something that is existing online. The way I am able to create unique logo designs is by passing that stage and forcing myself more and more and more. Try this 20 sketch method out and trust me, you will thank me later. Then next we have a tip which I use at my own company. Always present your logos. This one has tremendously changed the success rate of logo designs for our clients. To explain this, let me give you an example. We all know this famous shoe brand called Nike. When Nike wants to sell you a shoe, they don't just be like, here you go, here's the shoe, go buy it, right? They spend millions of dollars in creating ads, putting out their brand message, telling a story, using their own product, which conveys you that if you are someone serious about running, you should probably go with a Nike shoe. If Nike can spend millions of dollars in just telling a story to convince you to buy their shoe, why can't you spend just one more extra day in creating a logo presentation for which you have worked so hard to design? None of your clients will like the logo design just by looking at it. Create a story, make a presentation, show how the logo can be used in different ways possible for different use cases, and make mock-ups specific to their brand. This way the clients will now have a vision on how their brand will look like with the logo which you have crafted. Also, after making the presentation, don't just simply send it to them over WhatsApp or email. Get on a call, present it to them, them, further convincing them that why you think these 3 options are the right fit for their brand. Tip number 7. The noun method. The name of this method is given by a fellow designer I follow, Alan Peters. I'm sure you must have seen his viral videos on Instagram. This technique is also mentioned in his book called Logos That Last. It is a must read if you want to know the process of creating iconic logos. The noun method is nothing but basically taking 2 nouns out of the client's brief which really stands out. For example, in one of my previous videos, if you remember, I was designing a logo for an African tea brand named Meow. Now if you look here, you have 4 nouns already: Africa, tea, meow, and of course a cat. You will take 2 nouns and draw them out in their simplest form. Keep drawing each one and try to find similarities between how they are constructed. What shape really makes that animal look like a cat and not a dog? Understand their shape and form. Try refining and combining both the nouns. In a way, you can see both the elements. This way, you'll be able to come with multiple logo design ideas just by using this noun method. This next tip, number 8, is probably one of the most important ones. Change your location. When working on a design repeatedly, it's easy to reach a saturation point, and that's completely normal. Creativity is essentially in this field, but it doesn't always come easy. One strategy I use to stay inspired is changing my environment. You must have probably noticed that I travel a lot. Places like Japan, Singapore, Turkey, and many more. These trips aren't just for leisure. They help me refresh my perspective, draw inspiration from different cultures, and understand new design aesthetics which I can apply here in India. Of course, not everyone has the luxury to travel while working, and that's completely okay. For me, these journeys serve a dual purpose. They keep my creativity at its peak and also provide valuable content to share it with you guys. Remember, you don't have to travel the world to be creative. Sometimes a small shift in the environment, in your routine, can do wonders. If you don't even have a studio like this, it's completely okay. I mean, it's just been a year since I have this. You can work from your parents' room, sometimes on the dining table in the living room, or at your friend's house, or literally any nearby cafe. The point being, keep changing where you work. In fact, I've written the script of this video you're watching at home in my study table, and I am here shooting in my studio. I have shifted the environment where I am working. The second last tip of the video is overshooting. When working on logo designs, especially custom types, we need to keep overshooting in mind. Let me explain it with you with an example. Let's say we take this square, a nice filled blank square, and then we take this circle and put it right besides it. Now when we look closely at both of them, the circle looks much smaller than the square. But if we turn on the guides, we realize they are mathematically the same height. Then how is this possible? The curves on the circle with a much smaller surface area creates a visual illusion that makes it appear smaller than it actually is. To make this visually correct and mathematically incorrect, we will increase the size of the circle slightly, further making it optically balanced. Well, you'll be surprised to know that all the fonts you use every single day on your laptops already have overshooting. Don't believe me? Just type XO on your keyboard in Illustrator with any font you like and try to draw a line on the top and the bottom part of the letter X touching it. You will see the O is slightly larger, and not only O, all the round letters are slightly larger. So keep this in mind when you're working on custom type. And for our last and final tip, we have check the availability of your logos. Even if you follow all the other tips I gave in this video and not this final one, all your efforts will go to waste. This last tip is crucial. You have to make sure your concepts or designs aren't already out there and claimed by someone else. 2 years ago, I made this mistake while working on a logo design for a real estate client in Dubai. I skipped the proof checking step only to have the client call me one late night demanding a refund. I lost not only the hard-earned money but also the trust of that very client. I don't want you to go through the same what I did, so here is what you should do. After completing your logo design and feeling confident about it, before presenting it to your client, take an extra step. Open the global brand database on Google, use the search by logo feature and drop in your logo design there. This will help you check if any similar logo designs or ideas have already been registered by someone else before. Additionally, you can use Google Lens or Shutterstock image search to be completely sure. Learn from my experience so you can avoid these mistakes which I did. A little extra diligence can save you from a lot of trouble down the road. Well, that was all from me, folks. I hope these tips will help you in your graphic design journey. And if you think this video was really valuable, do drop a like so YouTube will recommend this video to other fellow designers like you. Also, while you're at it, comment down below if you need a part 2 of 10 tips for logo designers.